Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that's very old, very collectible and becoming very, very rare. We are looking at the 1965 release of the TV21 Annual, which was released in late 1965 for the upcoming 1966 year. And it was based on the highly popular comic series that was based on the Gerry Anderson television series, and had all the episodes or comic strips from the said series. Now the annuals were produced, I think they ran for 5 years from, I think 60. This was the very first annual we're looking at today, and they did rename them to TV21 as the years went on, but there was 5 annuals in all. So it's 66 to 72 was the last one that came out in 71, but it was for the 72 year. So those were the TV21 annuals. As I say, they're all based on the Gerry Anderson's TV21 or Century 21 comic. Okay, so this is the very first one we're looking at today, and it says TV Century 21 Annual, and you've got an image there of the Stingray, and the Favourite XL5 just below that, and you've got a couple of characters there. There's a Martian there, and you've got I can't remember his name from Burkes Law, and I can't remember the name of the TV Martian, my favourite Martian. Okay, so that's the front of the annual. We'll find out when we get in, because I'm sure they'll be in there. So let's turn the book over and see what we got on the back. Okay, not a lot to see on the back. There is a name that's been wrote on the back of this book at some point from 1965 or 66. But it says TV Century 21, and it's copyright 1965, City Magazines Limited and AP Films Merchandising Limited, which is obviously the Andersons company. Okay, and let's just have a look at the spline before we open it up. So it says TV Comic 21 Annual. There is a tape repair on the back there, so I assume that the covering was coming away, so a bit of tape's been put on there to hold it into position. Okay, let's open the annual up and let's have a look at the contents inside. Okay, so I have opened the annual, and this is the inside the covers, and it's got a ship 434 flying over a futuristic city. And the next page, it's got you can key in your own details, so agent's number, name and address, height, colour of eyes, colour of hair, and your fingerprints if you wanted to, and you could even put your own photograph in there if you wanted to. So the book will be yours, absolutely. It looks like that someone has filled this in. It's been rubbed out at some point, because you can just see the indentations under the paper. It says printed and bound in England by Gerald & Sons Limited, Norwich, 1965, City Magazines Limited and AP Films Merchandising Limited. Published by City Magazines Limited and AP Films Merchandising Limited. And there's an image of Parker and Lady Penelope in the Fab one. Okay, it says featuring Fireball XL5, Stingray, Supercar, Lady Penelope, Burkes Law, My Favourite Martian, Contact 21 Stories, Orbit, Truth About Space, Oceans of Mystery, Puzzles, and an exciting cutaway drawing of Stingray. Okay, so there's the very first comic strip story, which is a colour comic strip story, and it's from the highly popular TV series which is called Burkes Law, which aired in the 1960s. And it says, who killed the pest killer? The Lago Verde Valley, California, Mitch Curzon is crop spraying with pest killer. And so you can see someone down there has shot him. And the plane crashes. And Amos Burke, that was his name. One I couldn't remember the name of on the front of the annual. Who's captain of the homicide, is assigned to the case. And he's off investigating to find out who killed the pest killer. So that's a comic strip story, and that runs for 5 pages. And then we've got here, how many can you find? These are several mistakes in this picture. Can you spot them? So yes, you've got Stingray wrote on their Supercar. You've got an amphibian on the Fireball XL5 bike, hover bike, if you like. You've got Supercar there, which should be Stingray, and so on. So there's 3 just off the top of my head, and there's Robbie the Robot in Stingray's Colonel, the commander of Wasp. I can't think of his name right now, but he's sitting in his chair. So that's 4 mistakes just straight off the top of my head. Okay, the next story is Magenta 7. 221, and it is a full story, and it is a with colour illustrations, I should say, and again there's another name that's been wrote, same name that's been wrote on that page there, but this story runs for 5 or 6 pages, and then it comes to the next section is the world we share with elephants, and it tells you all about the life and times of elephants. And then we're on to the next comic strip story, which is a Fireball XL5 story, and it's called The Red Planet. And there you see Steve Zodiac taking off in the Fireball XL5, and there's his sidekick Marina, Marina, and that's a 5-page story. And then we've got Truth About Space, Bring Them Back Alive, and it gives you all information on parachuting and what have you. Then we've got a quiz there. It says, which route must Fireball XL5 take to reach the centre? What are they saying? So there's obviously some, you have to translate that to what they're saying. Troy Tempest here, how many words can you make from the letters in his name? Okay, so yeah, it says, can you sort out the items in this jumble and name them? So you got to figure out all the items and name them. And at the bottom there, here is another professor's optical illusions. Are the long lines parallel? And that's another quiz for you to do. And then we're on to the next story, which is called Stingray, which is a Stingray story, I should say. And there you can see the amphibians and Troy Tempest there. And that's 2, 4, 6 colour pages, colour comic strip story. And then we come on to the deepest dive. It seems to be a little bit of pen mark on there, but it is silver pen. It doesn't interfere with the text at all, so you can still read what's being printed. And it's all about submarines. And then we come on to My Favourite Martian. And again, that was one of the popular television shows of the 1960s. And this is a full story with a comic with colour illustrations to accompany each page. And then we've got that printout of the cutaway of Stingray, and it tells you what all of the numbered items are from the Stingray submarine. And then we've got a Supercar story, which is a full story with colour illustrations. Again, I mean, we're quite fortunate that this annual has a lot of colour, because a lot of the annuals back in the day didn't. They were all black and white. We've got Orbit Over the Isle of Man. I'm not quite sure what that is all about. Music Box by Barry Gray. He's the one that produced all the music for the series. And then we've got a Lady Penelope story, which is Lady Penelope in Bullion Raid. And again, it is a colour comic strip story, all based on the characters from Thunderbirds. And it's quite a long story, that 8-page one. Zuni's Diary, and that's all about Zuni and what he did from Fireball XL5. And then we come to another double agent story, 221 Special Agent, and this is a full story again with colour illustrations. So the illustrations in these old annuals were absolutely fantastic, really, considering the times. Quite a long story that is. And then we come to another one of the Burkes Law comic strips. And this one at the time is called Who Killed the Sultan? And it is, again, a 2, 4, 6-page comic strip. And then it comes to Cosmic Capers, and they're all funnies, really. And then we've got another Supercar story with Steve Zodiac. And it is a full story with colour illustrations to accompany the text. Orbit over Andorra. I'm not quite sure what that is all about, but that's another story by the looks of things. A very short, maybe not a story, maybe a true life thing, I don't know. And then we've got another Stingray adventure, which is Marineville Traitor. And it's another full comic strip story, which is 6 pages. And then we come Oceans of Mystery, Raising the Vasa, which was a ship that sunk, and that was, they raised it out of the water. And another My Favourite Martian story, which is again a full story with colour illustrations to accompany the text. And that brings us to the end of the annual. It's a TV21. Is on TV Century 21 is on sale every Wednesday. Price 7p, and features Stingray, Fireball XL5, Supercar, Burkes Law, the Daleks, and all your other TV favourites in this annual. This is already your copy of Century 21 for adventure in the 21st century. And there's all your puzzle answers. There is some pencil marks there, which had been wrote on, but they're only in pencils, they can easily be rubbed out. And there is a few at the back here as well, which can also be rubbed out. But it's the same image as what was inside the front cover. Okay, that is the TV Century 21 1966 annual, which was released late in 1965 for the upcoming 1966 year. Back in the day, annuals were staple diets for children, kids. Every year at Christmas, you will find an annual of some kind in your Christmas stocking or your Christmas sack. And it would be all based on your favourite comics or your favourite TV programmes or your favourite football team, maybe. They were pretty much staple diet. So annuals were incredibly popular back in the day. And obviously the more popular the TV show and the more popular the comic, the more popular the annual, of course. And TV Century 21 was a very, very popular comic. And it went on to be renamed several times. It wasn't just... They did drop the TV Century, the Century 21, and they named it TV21. And then it merged with a couple of other comics, but eventually the titles were still dropped back down to TV21. But anyway, cut long story short, these annuals were all based on those comics, which were obviously from the Andersons. Now let's move forward to today, which is 2024. What are we talking? We're talking nearly 60 years, 58 years ago when this annual was, 59 years ago actually when this annual was produced. Do they come up very often on the platforms nowadays? This particular one, which is the first annual, it's the first TV Century 21 annual, no, it doesn't appear very often. Used to come up quite a lot, but obviously as time's gone on and the years have gone round, they really don't come up for sale very often anymore, not this original one. You can find some of the other ones on the platforms, but again, I have to say, if you are intending to buy on the platform and you are looking at the used items, be very careful that the image you look at is the item you're actually buying, because a lot of the platforms use stock images, so the actual item you're looking at as the picture is not necessarily the item you're going to receive. So if you're buying used, click on the used button and have a good look at the images that are uploaded for the used item, or read the description of the used item that you are buying, which will avoid disappointment at the end of the day. So many people have told me they bought off platforms and the picture showed that they was getting a certain item, and when it arrived it was completely different, or completely different quality, or it was used instead of new because the stock images were new. So just be very, very careful. But this particular one, as I say, doesn't appear very often on the platforms. Some of the other ones do, but this particular one doesn't. However, we at Midas Touch have managed to find 1 or 2 copies of this particular annual, and they are readily available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage annuals and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something that you won't want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this very old annual with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.